I think something that's interesting about storytelling, and I think that it might, those that do a lot of it. I don't know. Can you sing and play? Or are you a
Yeah,
play and
yeah,
then
yeah.
sing? Okay. So I realized that I'm actually better, at the chop, where I can like pick it up and then just start making stuff up. And that was a skill actually that, and maybe you'll kind of get through this because I think that in storytelling these are important. But I remember my father when I was younger, and then people who have kids, this might be a good idea, and you could probably back this up. But when you tell these stories when you're a kid, you kind of teach kids the charismatic ability to kind of release this information in a certain way. And my father was like that a lot when we were kids. He just make up stories, tell stories, do all those things. And many times they weren't real, but they really created like this environment for you as a kid. Do you find that those kind of things, when we pull out stories of ourselves, do you think that it's finding things that are for other people, or do you think it's better that we attach it to our own personal experience and then express it?
That's a great question. I think I think for me, it's been about really relating personal experiences to situations because there's two reasons. One is it's a little more disarming when you're relating your own personal experiences, if told the right way, because some things can be self-aggrandizing. You could just it's just an extension of look at me, I'm amazing. But when you can be vulnerable, speaking about yourself, it's like a next level. Because now all of a sudden, people will come and they'll read my story about, most recently it was about soccer. So it was just, I'm coaching my son in soccer, and
I didn't play soccer to simply see the score at the end of the
that's
game.
that's right.
I
And
decided to
it
coach
was,
my son's U2 team this week and was thinking about my days playing. I was actually going to ask you.
look
That's
at
kind of
that, look at
cool.
that.
I was
So,
prepared.
yeah, so from those types of stories, it's a way to share perspective. It's a way for them to connect. Because you're going to remember there's three things that when people come into your world or your field or, depending on what you believe is, first you have to be aware of them. And that's the know factor. We hear this know, like, and trust a lot, but know, like, they have to actually have an affinity for you, and trust. They have to trust that what you do is credible, it's useful for them, and that you're someone who can help them. And right now, I'll say the attention span of people is so short
Oh,
that
right.
a 7-day nurture sequence via email, you might get 2 messages read. I used to do that. I mean, I would spend hours writing email copy, and they would all get read, and I would be converting clients, and that was great. And then that started for me to trickle off and clients, and I started to say, man, I got to really figure out a way to have that same experience of nurturing people through storytelling, but I can't rely on all the traditional methods. Not I don't I don't have the bandwidth and time to continue to text people and try to get them to nurture all these different ways. So for me, it was like an aha moment when I just said, well, people find me through my profile, and if I have my content right there in story format, and I'm pulling from my experience and sometimes clients' experience or friends or situations, then people will be able to quickly go through and start to get an affinity for me, start to understand what I do and trust. And it actually works. You'll see somebody comes in, starts liking something, liking another a few minutes later, and you actually could see in your notifications, it's almost like a red light, green light game. It's like, ooh, this is somebody who's resonating.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just reach out and say, hey. And, and it's funny, literally, that's what people will pay me to teach them. It's like, how do I get that to happen? And how do I say hey to somebody? And it's interesting once they know you, they feel like they really know you once they've started to read your personal perspective and not some fabricated, oh, Johnny told me that blah, blah, blah. They start to hop on a call, and it's like they're asking you questions about yourself or about your
Mm-hmm.
experiences. And it would have taken me, I don't know, I don't even know how I would have built that trust with them prior, put it that way.